Shalom party people, and welcome to the 12th Seas Toolbox. Today, I wanted to show you guys my BluePoint 155 piece 1/4 and 3/8 inch drive general service set. Part number on this one is B Bravo, L Lima, P Papa, G Golf, S Sierra, C Charlie 155. It retails off of the Snap-on truck for, I want to say, like $815. But when I got this thing like 13 years ago, this thing was really easy to get on the student discount that Snap-on had, or still has, I guess. I don't know if that's still available. If you've got a Snap-on, student in your life, somebody who's in a tech school and qualifies for that, like I think it's almost a 50% discount on a certain set of their tools. This one, the time that I had it, made it really palatable to get, and it was, I want to say it was even less expensive than $815 at the time. Now, inflation, all that fun stuff. Anyway, this set has treated me really well. I liked it so much that I bought a second one off of eBay, and I want to say I paid like $350 on eBay. Now I think you'll find one on eBay for somewhere between, $350 and like $650. This set has like paid for itself probably 100 times over for me. It is a very great starter socket set. I like it because this case, folds up, it's rugged, it is well built, and it just works. And for like transport, you just pick this thing up, fold it up, take it where you need to go, do what you need to do. I ended up selling the second one that I had because I just didn't need it at the time. And I'm kind of wishing I had kept it because it's really good. So I liked it so much I bought it twice. I don't think anyone should pay the full price for this thing, but in all honesty, it's paid for itself so many times over that, maybe it is worth the full price. I'm in a mobile truck setup with my box, so I usually, so it doesn't rattle around, I throw this rubber mat over it just so that way stuff doesn't fall out when this thing is rattling. And that's just part of the game. So we're going to go to our scripture of the week real quick, and when we come back, I am going to have this out on the tabletop up here, and we'll dive in just a little bit deeper. Okay, I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 1 through 8 here in the English Standard Version, and then I want to talk about it for a little bit, and I also want to read it in the New Messianic Version as well, because I think having the names translated in this passage may unlock a few things for some of us. Deuteronomy 1, 1 through 8. These are the words that Moses spoke to all Israel beyond the Jordan in the wilderness, in the Arab, opposite Surah, between Pharan and Topol, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Dahazab. It is 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir to Keshbariah. In the 14th year, on the first day of the 11th month, Moses spoke to the people of Israel according to all that the Lord had given him in commandments to them. After he had defeated Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth and Aradi, beyond the Jordan in the land of Moab, Moses undertook to explain this law, saying, "The Lord our God said to us in Hebron, 'You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Turn and take your journey and go to the hill country of the Amorites and to all their neighbors in Arab, in the hill country and in the lowlands and in the Negeb by the seacoast, the land of the Canaanites and Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates. See, I have set the land before you. Go in and take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to them, to their offspring after them.'" So in this, we have a little bit of an introduction here. I mean, it is the opening of a new book in the Torah. And we have just a little bit of backstory, some locations, and some of that may be a little bit confusing to us. And that's par for the course right now. We'll get there, I promise. But in this backstory, we have Moses coming forward with the instructions from Yahweh, telling the people of Israel, hey, get ready because we're going to go take the land. And Deuteronomy is a long book, but it is the final sermon that Moses gives to Israel before they get ready to go take the land. And I find it fascinating that this section, see, I have set this land before you, go in and take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to them and their offspring after them. I find it fascinating that as soon as Joshua takes over, which is not that long after this was written, and he tells everyone, be strong and courageous. The subtext of what's going on is there's giants in them hills, boys. Get ready. Put your armor on. Lace up your boots. Let's go to work. Don't be afraid. Yahweh is bigger than those giants. All right, this is the New Messianic Version. It's a little clunky, but what I really love about this is it has names translated. And some of these probably aren't going to matter a whole lot, but others, this may help some of this backstory kind of come to life for some of us. Deuteronomy 1. These be the words which Moshe, he who draws out of the water, spoke unto Yisrael. He holds on to the heel of God. On this side of Yarden, descender, in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran, the place of the caverns, Tophel, white, and this for white, it means like more of a purity in the sense of like it's just very clean, it's very polished. And Lavan, white, same thing. And Hazeroth, the place of the wilderness. And Dizaph, enough gold. There are 11 days' journey from Hebron, the desert, by the way of the mountain Seir, Shaggy, unto Kadesh, holy, Berean, holy. And it came to pass in the 14th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moshe, he who draws out of the water, spoke unto the people of Israel, he holds on to the heel of God, according unto all that the Lord Jehovah, Messiah pre-incarnate, had given him in commandment unto them. After he had slain Sihon, the warrior, the king of Emori, the highlanders, which dwelt in Heshbon, stronghold, and Og, long-necked, the king of Bashan, fruitful, which dwelt at Ashrot, star, in Erdi, good pasture. On this side of Yarden, descender, in the land of Moab, seed of my father, began Moshe, he who draws out of the water, to declare this law, saying, the Lord Jehovah, Messiah pre-incarnate, our God Elohim, the living word, the many-powered, spoke unto us in Horeb the desert, saying, you have dwelt long enough in this mountain. Turn and take your journey and go to the mount of Emori, highlanders, and go unto all the places near thereon, in the plain, and in the hills, and in the valley, and in the south, and by the sea, and to the land of Kineu, the merchant, and unto Levan, whiteness, unto the great river, the river Euphrates, to break forth to gush. Behold, I have set this land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord Jehovah, Messiah pre-incarnate, swore unto your fathers, Abraham, exalted father, Yitzhak, laughter, and Yaakov, heel of God, to give unto them their seed after them. So what does all this mean? Yahweh had Israel in the desert. They had them in a place of caverns. And while there may have been like a white purity, this could have been like the rocks and the sand, that it just reflects so much light. But they're going through the wilderness to a place where there is gold. And this is just off of the place names and the people names of what's going on. Why would you name somebody enough gold unless there was a lot of gold going on there. Then there's this mountain where holy is listed twice as a descriptor for it. So a holy mountain, which is where they were, and this is where they're going, led by someone who's drawn out of the water, people who hold on to the heel of God. And they're chasing after the pre-incarnate Messiah. Yahweh has slain a warrior king of the Highlanders, who lived in a stronghold, and a dude who's called Long-Necked. This other dude is Fruitful, and this one is Star and Good Pasture. So strong warriors in fortified places that have fruitful land and good pasture. And Yahweh has already slain those people. And he's bringing his people into their land. I get it. These are just name meanings, but he's taking them out of the desert, literally into the land flowing with milk and honey. And they're going to go and they're going to take it. And this isn't just a stroll through the park. This is grab your swords, lace up your boots. Go take it. Why do you think I so frequently tell people to go do hard things? There is such a thing as this, hey, we're chasing after what God is providing for us. And, faith that moves mountains. Sometimes that mountain moving faith is Yahweh has handed you a shovel and gifted you a strong back. And he says, start digging. Sometimes that is the case. Be ready. When he says go, oh, it's too hard. Yeah. By yourself. But with him, look at everything he's already done up until this point. He has slain literal giants. And there's still a fight to be fought, but he's with us. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go. Go in and possess the land which the Lord Jehovah, the Messiah pre-incarnate, swore unto your fathers. Back up top. So this kit, I really like it. The blown mold plastic is pretty tough. I mean, I've got some damage on it just because this thing's had hard use, but it is what it is. It works. The latches are robust. The hinges work great. I have seen these hinges break off, but in all honesty, that they work fine even without them. A lot of guys ditch the case anyway. The case is well made. For transport, it's fantastic. And, kind of one of those things, I wish I hadn't sold the second one that I had, but, it is what it is. Anyway, sockets, you've got deep, shallow, you have metric, you have SAE. A lot of the deeps are 12 point, and that makes life nice. Not all of the deeps are 12 point, and so that does kind of play into some of the things. No, I'm sorry, the deeps are 6 point. That is what it is on the 1/4 inch. On the 3/8 inch, they're 12 point. So that's something that I wish they had a level of consistency across the board. I know a lot of you guys are 6 point guys. 12 point, just with the industry that I'm in, 12 point comes in handy in several situations. So having a mix of 6 and 12 point, cool. I wish it was like, hey, maybe all of the deeps were one thing and then all of the shallows were, something else. Like typically when I need a deep, I tend to need a deep that's 12 point, but it is what it is at that point. Anyway, so this half over here is going to be your business end. The diagram that they give you, I wish they had it inverted, but hey, I'm not the guy who designed this case. Other than the fact that this diagram should be inverted on both sides, just so that way they'd spin it around and you could actually take it off, lay it out, and do what you needed to do. Other than that, it's pretty well made. I like that this keeps everything here. Maybe this foam should have been here on this side, just so that way your sockets didn't, come rolling out. And I've had that happen before. It is what it is. Breakover bar, it's fine. Wibble wobble, you've got a 1/4 inch drive. You got a 1/4-inch driver. You've got the push button socket or push button ratchets. They're fine for what they are. They're the BluePoint. I want to say they're like 72 teeth, something like that. Bigger wibble wobble extensions. This is where the bit holders would be. Solid negative about this kit. The bits that come in here are so-so. I've had much better bits that cost way less money from different companies. I don't know if Snap-on just threw in the cheapest bits possible because this is a BluePoint kit or whatever, but it is what it is. These drivers I almost never use, but cool. You've got some actual 3/8-inch drive. This one is a H10. Cool. This one is a T40. Some of you guys may need those. I really don't have a lot of use for them. I've maybe used a couple of them. You've got spark plug sockets. They work fine. I think these have the retainers. Yeah, they've got that rubber retainer in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but catches the spark plug. For what it's worth. There's other spark plugs out there, so these are just like 2 common sizes, which is fine, whatever it is. Yeah, in general, I think this is a very well-made kit. I like having 12-point in these deeps, but because it is 6-point in these deeps over here on the 1/4-inch drive deeps, and then 12-point in the 3/8-inch drive, I wish there was some level of uniformity on that. Other than that, like, I don't have many negative things to say about this kit. These things work, and they're nice. Honestly, the e-tool stuff that you have in here, and I don't have a lot of use for it, but this has bailed some friends out. This one right here that I just picked up, this is an E12. So if you're driving a Chevy Tahoe or something, you may have a couple of situations where you need an e-tool. It's there. It's nice. For what it's worth, it's cool to have some of those sometimes, because not a lot of guys have that. And for this being in a starter socket set, that you have metric, you have SAE, you have the e-tool stuff, and you've got it in 1/4 and 3/8. This is a really good starter kit to have probably 90% of your coverage. So, big boy shallow socket right here. This is a 1-inch. Big boy deep. This one, 24 millimeter. 24 millimeter will get you a pretty far way into things. This one is going to be SAE. That's a 1-inch, 12-point drive. That can come in very useful. It goes all the way down to 3/8, 12-point drive. Kind of nice. We get into the 1/4-inch drive. This is going to be a 6-point, and this one is a 4 millimeter. That's pretty dang small. Going over here to SAE, this one is 3/16 and relatively thin wall. You get Snap-on sockets and they're going to be a little bit thinner than that, but it's nice to have. If they were 12-point on these, then I wouldn't have bought some gear wrench deep sockets that I needed 12-point in. The industry that I'm in, I typically use more SAE than metric, although some metric stuff does turn up. And when I have a lot of coworkers who are in and out of school, 3 years or less, and they only bought the exact things that they needed, and they don't have a little bit of the expansion, or they bought a smaller kit and they don't have the breadth, the depth that's in here, that can play into some things for these guys. I went ahead and I added a 3/8 to 1/4-inch drive adapter. That's a Stanley. It's nothing special. And then I went ahead and put in a hex to 1/4-inch drive adapter in there. It's free space inside of your rail or inside of your kit. You might as well throw those things in there. As you guys saw, I chunked the bits that were in here, and there are better bits out there, and I've got, much better, much more useful to me options in my box. The used kit that I bought, half the bits were broken, 2 or 3 of them were missing, and like the rest of them were rusty. And I didn't like the ones that I had in this one, so I just didn't keep them. it is what it is. You know, they use that to pad like, I don't know, another 20 tools in here, and so that way they can call it a 155 piece kit. But in general, this thing is extremely useful. The ratchets are good. Are there better ratchets out there? Yeah, there are, but they're good ratchets. The extensions cover what you need for the most part, and you can always put extensions together. The wibble wobbles are good, well-made wibble wobbles that are in there. The sockets in general are a nice chrome that, like, I don't have a ton of wear on these things. Like, the most wear that they really get is when they're spinning around in here. And that's why I went ahead and I put the rubber mat over this, so that way it's in my box and they're not rattling around so much. But I use my 1/4 inch drive stuff probably way more than my 3/8, but having a good set of 3/8 drive is really, really useful. That's where a kit like this can really pay off, because you run into that oddball situation. Oh man, I need a 1 inch deep 12 point. Do you have that? And a lot of guys are running 6-point stuff. Man, I need a 1/4 inch shallow 6-point. Okay, I have it. Do I sometimes want that 1/4 inch shallow in 12-point? Yeah, I do, but you can usually make do with what's here. Very, very rarely do I have to supplement. And if you pick this kit up used with all of the pieces, minus some of the bits or whatever, or if you pick it up on the student discount, I think that is where you're really getting your money's worth out there. In the sizes that are here, I have not run into a situation where it's like, man, I wish I had X size. Maybe it's, I wish I had X size in 12-point. But I have not been like, oh man, I need a 21 millimeter, because I just have it. Because look, here's a 21 millimeter. It's there. I have a 20 millimeter. It's there. So the no skips makes my life very, very useful. I know some of you guys are going to want to hear the ASMR on the ratchets. And here, let's get it next to that mic. They're well-made ratchets. Are there better ones out there? Yes. But for basically getting snap-on factory seconds out of a BluePoint kit, because that's effectively what you're getting. It's just rebranded. It's not as pretty of chrome. The wall thickness is marginally thicker. But this beats the vast majority of, master starter sets that you can go get in a 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch drive. And it's going to work. Is it worth the $815? Knowing what I know out of this, yeah, probably. But you would probably be best served to go pick one up used on eBay and just make sure all of the pieces are there. Go do hard things.